Story 1. Emile doesn't want us to file a marriage certificate, just buy her a house. She's so out of touch on reality. I would be upset if I wasn't so disbelieving of her nonsense. I've been trying to buy a house for years, finally at the point I'm ready. The boyf is totally on board. He's willing to file, so we can use his full VA home loan bennies. It will make it so much easier and possible to buy a house. Emile somehow found out. I'm betting he told her directly since he's trying to have a good relationship. He has his VA loan and a good credit score. I have the funds and the know-how for all the house and house buying stuff. Together, we got this. She is absolutely against us being legally married. Our state doesn't have common law. But she wants him to buy her a house, or one for them to live in together, since her boyfriend is kicking her out / trying to break up with her. Everything about her situation is a huge mess that she created. And she wants someone, all her kids, including the ones in C with her, to save her from herself. Like, is there any thought process going on? Anything at all? Comment 1 boom. Once mom has to share attention on her day, it's not so special or great, right? Keep pushing that you should have a joint party between your birthdays whenever she brings it up. I'd also suggest you schedule the LOC section before your other daughters because otherwise, she may make an appearance that day. Comment 2. As someone who had to share birthday parties with their 8 years younger brother, thank you for advocating for your kids. Maybe they'll be into joint birthdays, but forcing it on them is no fun. Comment 3. As a triplet who has always had to same their birthday, I think you made the right choice. I always hated how I had to compromise my birthday party, and none of us were happy with the party due to the other's decisions. Comment 4. Unfortunately, both of my parents are like this. They parentified me from a very young age. I'm 35 now with my own family. They only call me when they have an issue completely of their own making, and they want sympathy or for me to fix it. They never think to offer me help or even call me to just say hi. As a child of such selfish parents, it's very hurtful and infuriating. So shouldn't bother with a response. If the roles were reversed, she would probably ignore him because she doesn't deal with anything that isn't about her. It's a shitty way to treat PPL. I hope you guys find the house of your dreams though, and never let her come stay. Comment 5. Sweetheart, let me be very clear about this. I am not moving in with your mother, and she is never moving in with me, even if that means her staying at a shelter. You can live with me, or you can live with your mother. The option to live with us both does not exist. Comment 6. Talk with the boyfriend, and make sure you are both on the same page that JustNoMil will never live with you before you buy the house. Get it in writing, if needed. Story 2. Emile continually asking about breastfeeding. We have had some very negative interactions since the first time I met her, and she has said some very nasty things, like flat out suggesting I would breastfeed my son and progressively start doing things to him on camera for money since I used to be an NSFW content creator. I was no longer even making content at the time of her saying it, but that's just to give an example of some of the very hurtful things she said about me. My son is exclusively breastfed, and one of the questions she always asks my husband is, when does she plan on stopping? I told them to since that's what's recommended, but I'm in no rush if it takes a little longer since I know it's a very hard process for toddlers. Ever since he told her to, she ever so often asks if that's still my plan, and he will tell her yes. Last week at the park, they were FaceTiming, and I decided I wanted to go back to the car since it was windy. I ended up walking back around to them since the path was too muddy and overheard her asking him in a very, very stern, almost agitated tone, she's still going to be stopping breastfeeding at 2, right? Like seriously, she is right? The tone plus knowing that she thought I couldn't hear was just really weird, and I don't know, anxious plus extremely annoyed. Like, is that not extremely weird? Comment 1. I'm really struggling with these posts today where the OP describes a clearly toxic MIL who has a history of doing harm to their own child, the DH in these stories, and the OP is like, I still want my child to have a relationship with their grandmother. Like what? Sorry to be blunt, OP, but this is the equivalent of the husband asking his wife to have a relationship with his clearly toxic mother, because that's just how she is, and that's what you do for family. You do not serve innocent people, particularly children, up on a platter to a toxic, damaging person. I don't know why this is even a discussion. And in this case, the MIL has clearly let you know that she's going to create psychological issues for both of your children and very likely drive a wedge between siblings with her unapologetic favoritism. Why? Why? Why do you say, but I want my child to have a relationship with his grandmother, if you know there's even a slight chance she's going to damage your children? Comment 2. Hold up. She straight up told your husband she doesn't love your second child? So she can have a relationship with child number 1 despite the distance and the excuses she has, but not number 2? That would be the end for me. Comment 3. No, you're not overreacting. What a toxic MIL. I would not leave either kid alone with her. Apparently, she's not even self-conscious about her lack of feelings towards the younger. Comment 4. Why do you want your children to have a relationship with someone who will play favorites? Your children will be fine without a toxic grandma in their life. Comment 5. Text her this. What is with this obsessive questioning about my breastfeeding my baby? Why are you so excessively worried about it, MIL? Are you wanting to take over after he turns 2? You are one creepy lady, MIL. Stay in your lane, and please, for the love of God, GTFO of mine. Thanks. Comment 6. Flat out suggesting I would breastfeed my son and progressively start doing things to him on camera for money. My mouth actually dropped open when I read this. She suggested you would do things to him on camera for money? So, if I'm understanding this correctly, she implied that you would sexually abuse your child and create CSAM, and you still speak to her? I would get anyone who made that kind of allegation against me into low orbit and never speak to them again. That's not something you can apologize for and expect to be forgiven and welcomed back into the family. As I once heard a person say, you'd best hope God will forgive you, because I surely won't. Comment 7. I'm sorry, but she suggested you'd assault your child, and she still gets access? Also, it's none of her business. My 2.5-year-old still nurses once or twice a day for comfort. Story 3. MIL went from amazing to just downright awful. Been married for almost 8 years and have a 9-year-old child. MIL has always been amazing and supportive, up until last year. Last summer, MIL was in the hospital and texted me to inform me she was okay. Later that morning, her youngest son, who lives with her, called me not knowing she'd already told me. He and my DH do not get along. While on the phone, the mere mention of my husband's name sent him into some sort of psychotic break. He was totally wasted, started screaming at me, hanging up and texting me vicious texts about wishing me dead and how he wouldn't even look for me if I was missing and buried. It got so bad, MIL had to check herself out of the hospital to go home and take care of his spoiled ass. She later called me to apologize for his behavior, which she shouldn't have. She didn't do anything wrong. I thought that everything between her and I was fine. Fast forward to Christmas. We were trying to plan to get together with her so she could see her grandchildren. When my husband mentioned that we would not go to her house if his brother was there, she flipped out and refused to see us. My husband's other brother came alone, and we sent him with gifts for him and one for MIL. They were items ordered with my son's artwork on them. Apparently, she was shocked and totally appalled that we hadn't sent one for her other son. She refused to accept a gift from her grandson because her and her baby were a package deal, and she felt totally disrespected. He's nearly 40 and lives in her basement, but whatever. Why would we buy a gift for a man-child that wished me dead? Mental breakdown or not, he's not apologized, and it's a repeated pattern to treat everyone like garbage and force everyone to just accept being treated as such. Husband has been communicating only through phone calls since. Haven't seen her for 6 months, and she's only 30 minutes away. Other brother-in-law was back in town, and DH scheduled to have him and MIL over for dinner this last weekend. DH also asked me to invite my parents as well. Well, he didn't tell her that my parents were also invited until an hour before they were to come over. She lost her shit. Said that she felt completely disrespected and would not be coming. Brother-in-law came alone. Again, there has never once been an issue between MIL and my parents in the 10 years they've known each other. She's always been an amazing MIL, but it seems she's gone off the rails, and I have no idea what is going on. I've left it up to DH to figure it out because, well, not my circus, not my monkeys. I have completely lost any motivation to deal with their bullshit. Comment 1. As people get older, it's common for their masks to slip. Things they would never used to say suddenly come out. Also, it could be since her baby is nearly 40, she's older to elderly, and it may mean she's a bit scared of what will happen to him when she's gone. So now she's trying to force a relationship to put your husband, the only one nearby, in the position to become his caretaker when she's gone. Don't take the bait and stop trying. She's trying to make her love conditional and make your husband chase her so she can lay guilt. Comment 2. Whatever her reasoning, respect it. No calls, no gifts, no invitations. Just invite the cool BIL from here forward. Anyone asks, MIL has made it crystal clear that a relationship with her depends on having a relationship with the man who told me I should die, violently. Since that would be dangerous, we have no choice but to respect MIL's decision. Comment 3. She didn't want to be around your parents because deep down she knows that what her son said to you is wrong. She's embarrassed because she thinks that your parents know what's occurred. Your mother-in-law thought she was getting you guys alone. She can't manipulate you in front of your parents. Comment 4. Sounds like the trash took itself out. I'd encourage H to find better outlets for his love than someone who clearly doesn't value it. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.